Good morning. I was doing some cleaning today, cleaning that I don't do very often, and came across a book I had bought a while ago that I wanted to share with you. And just a shout out to Atlas, Archer, Arlo, Milo, Baby Hayes, and all the other babies out there. So this is a book called Telephone. And when I was a little girl growing up, we used to play a game called Telephone, where you gather your friends and you sit in a circle, and one person would start and say something, a sentence, into their buddy's ear. And that person would then say it to the next person, to the next person, and you'd wait and see all the way around. It might go through 20 people. We did this as a class sometimes. And it was really funny because what started out as a sentence, maybe like go home for dinner, came out as Atlas is a winner. So this book is a play on that game that we used to have and telephones as they used to be. So these birds are all sitting on what we used to call a telephone wire. And we don't have wires like that for telephones anymore. But here's the neighborhood. Notice the houses and the kids playing around. And look up at those gray shapes up at the top. These are all birds sitting on the wire. But it's a story. And really, you won't see all of these birds sitting on a wire. Some of them are too big. So we're going to start out with Peter's mother, the pigeon, who tells one of Peter's friends, "Hey, tell Peter, fly home for dinner." Well, his friend, who loves baseball, says, "Tell Peter to hit pop flies and homers." His friend the goose, who loves airplanes, we can see some airplanes over in this area, and the goose is wearing a aviation hat, tells, "Hey, tell Peter, prop planes are for flyers." Well, the ostrich, have you ever seen an ostrich sitting up on a wire? No. Oops. The ostrich says to the next bird on the wire, who's holding a guitar, like your Uncle Ben, "Tell Peter, put your wet socks in the dryer." Oh, and look, this looks like a clothesline because there's underwear there. Put your wet socks in the dryer. Well, the rock star says, "Tell Peter, rock stars are admired." He's getting his picture taken, right? So the photographer, who's closer to Peter, says, "Hey, tell Peter." Can you see what's down there? Crocodiles. Crocodiles are bad liars. Well, the pelican gets that message and says, "Hey, goose or mallard, tell Peter, lobsters are good hiders." And what is the mallard going to say? This mallard, who is reading a magazine about tires, says to the turkey, "Tell Peter, my monster truck has big tires." What do you notice about this turkey here? He's got like little beads of sweat coming off of his head. He looks like he's scared to be sitting on a wire. Turkeys are kind of big. Well, the turkey says, "Tell Peter, I'm too high up on the wire." Did you notice Kids are getting close around their houses. There's a dog eating. Everyone's getting ready for dinner. Then there's another bird that says, "Hey, tell Peter, something smells like fire." You see the fire hose, you see the flames. The message still has not gotten to Peter. And then you hear this wild yellow bird, this bird right here. I'm not sure what he looks like. "Tell Peter, there's a giant monster lobster named Homer. He smells like socks and he breathes red fire. His eyes blaze like stars and he rides a crocodile." See this guy down here? "He rides a crocodile that flies and he's coming to this wire. Tell Peter to fly, fly far, far away. He's too young to be somebody's dinner." And who's listening to this but Mr. Owl? This is like one of those noisemakers that you blow out your mouth. Mr. Owl is listening to all of this coming down the wire. He's very thoughtful, very quiet. And he says to Peter, this is Peter, we finally meet Peter way over here. "Hey, Peter." What's he going to tell him? "Your mom says, fly home for dinner." Fly home for dinner, Peter. And Peter does. And you can see everybody going into their homes to enjoy their dinner. I hope you enjoyed this story called The Telephone. I know it brought back memories to me, and it was a really fun game. So maybe when you have friends together, you can sit in a circle. Somebody start by saying one sentence, pass it around the circle, and see what happens. Enjoy.